Hey guys, it's Paul. So 5 ways that we could get money for our land deals. Number one is find partners that will lend you money or partner in with you for a deal. You'll find a lot of land investors being willing to put up some money up front to close a deal. You could work out a split, whether it's 50-50 or 60-40, 30-70, whatever splits that you work out. It's a good way to not lose a deal if you're just totally strapped for cash, you have no credit, no nothing. There's people out there that will work with you if you're willing to hustle for it. I've had people email me. I've also have options like just from my own networks that I've built. You could even get into borrowing money from family and friends if that's something you feel comfortable with. I've had my brother-in-law do a bunch of types of deals, house deals predominantly, where they just pulled funds together. He kind of worked it more, and his mom kind of helped with funding them. But you could get creative, either strangers if you feel more comfortable with that, or people, family, and friends that you know. Second way, the way that I've gotten going with it was I had a job, so I had decent credit and I always paid my bills. So there's credit unions all around the states that you could create a checking account with. And usually their interest rates are a little bit better. But what they'll do is, based on your income and your credit, they'll give you a personal line of credit, ask between $20,000 to $30,000. You could use that. Just do it. It's a cash advance. They'll basically funnel all of that, and you could use that for all your cash deals in purchasing them. So I did it with a bank called RBFCU. Well, it's a credit union in Texas, but just Google credit unions in your area, go visit them and see what they say. Generally, it's a pretty easy process that most people don't know. And literally, once you have your personal line of credit, you can walk outside from the bank with that cash in hand. It's a credit card with a cash advance, but there's no charges for it. That's like for the purposes of withdrawing cash. It's not like a credit card. You don't swipe. So I would highly recommend you look at that as a resource if you have decent credit and there's a credit union around you. In Texas, like where I'm at, there's security services and a couple other ones. And if you're military, there's also one for the military as well. So just look at your options and you'll be surprised at your funding options. So the third thing that you could do is just use your personal savings. If you're not a college student or someone younger, you probably have some amount of savings. I know that things tend to get expensive as you get older, but yeah, like if you have any kind of savings, you can actually withdraw that or use that to kind of funnel your business. The way I've kind of thought about it is I used like a proof of concept where I did smaller deals in the beginning to lay out the process. And I figured, if I lose a little bit of money here, a couple hundred or 1,000 or something here, like trying to work this business out, I just consider it part of a learning cost and I write it off as a tax exemption. So what I did was I created initially a DBA, and you could create a bank account, with that. You could do it with your county and it costs like $30, $35, something like that. And you have a business account with them, and then if anything happened, you just write it off as, a tax write-off later on. But it's a really good way to check out the business and not have to worry about partners or this or that, and just kind of get your feet wet, see how the process works, and, slowly start building up from that. As you gain confidence, you can get partners or lines of credit and do all sorts of things, make your LLC after that. But yeah, if you have personal savings, I'd highly recommend you do that if this is your first go around. The next thing that you could also do is a cash out refinance on your home. This is not an option for everyone. I actually never did this process We have 2 houses right now, and we got some equity with it. So we could look into this later on. I just feel that there are other funding options. I know for most of you, you might not have a house with a bunch of equity that you're willing to just draw out, but there's different ways to do it. You could do a cash out refinance, or you could get an equity line of credit with your bank, and you could use that like cash for all your land transactions and just kind of pay it off as you use it. So if you kind of already maxed out with your personal lines of credit, you could also use this as an option if you really don't want to use the partners or some of the other options available to you. So one of the ways I was able to get more cash for my business was I used a company called Fund and Grow. And what they essentially do is they will take your identity and basically apply for credit cards. What they'll do is they'll try to boost up your credit score and then, get these lines of credit, through your credit cards with 0% interest. So you could basically borrow money against your credit card and purchase land deals as needed. It costs us about $3,500. So it's not an option that everyone can do. But if you're looking at doing the partner track, a partner could take 25, 30, 50% of a deal. And if you're talking about a deal that would profit, $10,000 and you're splitting it halfways, that's, $5,000. So I just figured that it was worth it to try Fund and Grow, see how it goes. If not, we'll have, these lines of credit to do other things at 0% that I could use for other stuff if needed. But it has to be if you want to use it for land deals and you're going to pay cash for it, you're going to have to combine it with a company called Plastique. And there's other options too, but Plastique is kind of the one that really is the one that they push for. Basically, what Plastique does is they will take your credit cards and let you be able to do transfer wires or ACH, or send a check over to make your payments for your land deals. And that's important because typically credit cards, you wouldn't be able to do that. But with the Fund and Grow and Plastique combination, this is a possibility. So I'm pretty skeptical just in general with different companies and different options available to me. So I wasn't sure how things would go, but Fund and Grow I guess they have a lot of people that they've worked with, real estate investors, so I felt good about them. And then I didn't know about Plastique, but I trusted Fund and Grow, at least their operations and what other people were saying about them, that, they used it to fund real estate transactions, not just land, but houses as well. Basically just buy houses like for cash using these credit cards. What I was told was that they will funnel all of the credit cards that you have, because you'll have different balances. Some credit cards might have 20,000 or 10,000 or 15,000, etc. What I was told is they'll gather all those balances up and then send it over as one wire. On the flip side, after doing this, I realized Fund and Grow doesn't exactly, know all of Plastique's operations, but they've used it enough that they know that it's an option that they could, send over for real estate investors. What ends up happening is Plastique will send a wire if you do a title company. They'll send separate balance amounts. So if you have a credit card and you have 20,000 on it, they'll send a wire for 20,000, and then another one for 10,000, another one for 15,000, until you give the title company all of the money required to purchase your land. Plastique will they have like a fee, and it ends up being like a couple hundred to $1,000, I found, to use their service, because they'll do a percentage. I don't know exactly what percentage, but a percentage off of your purchase, what you use to funnel your land deal. That could be a little bit of a sticker shocker, but when I think about it in terms of, okay, this is 0%, the Fund and Grow was a separate thing, the 3,500, and I'm just considering this as like, part of the transaction, and my cost for borrowing money and it allows me to scale a little bit quicker, do more deals, because yeah, it might cost me a couple hundred or 1,000 or this or that, but if I'm turning it and I'm flipping it to, $5,000, $10,000, $20,000, or generating $200 per month, off of this deal, I'm getting my money back pretty quickly. It makes sense to use this combination with Plastique. Plastique is kind of, I would say it's the important part. The Fund and Grow, it's good because you don't have to worry about it. They also push the removing the inquiries, but you have to actually pay to have them remove the inquiries. I feel like they're just getting extra money. But if you don't want to deal with the hassle, which is almost gonna be everyone, you're gonna use Fund and Grow to do that. So it was worth it for us. We actually have pretty good credit, so I was able to do it for myself and my wife and get extra credits with the Fund and Grow, and that gave us access to more cash to do more of these deals. But it's just been an overall good avenue for us. And you don't have to use Fund and Grow to use Plastique. I'm just saying that combination worked well for us. If you have, zero balance or even a higher credit card amount, if it's a cash deal, even if your interest was 20%, that's better than splitting it off with 25, 30, 40, 50%. And that's on an annual basis. So, it's still cheaper than just doing a one-time flat fee with a partner. So if you think about it, even if you didn't do the Fund and Grow and just had your credit cards and you were able to pay it off pretty quickly, you're able to get your money back and pay off your balance. Even if there was the interest rate with the credit card, it makes sense. You just have to kind of work the numbers and see if it's good fit for you in using Plastique. So those are some of my thoughts, how you could get your money sorted to help you fund these land deals. We've also looked at doing transactions with houses, and it's opened up more of our portfolio and some of our options and what we could invest in. So just some food for thought.